shipping changes.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back in. Today's November 26, 2019. Just 2 more days till Thanksgiving. And as per usual, every year, like I warn everyone, just before December comes up, right when everyone realizes we're in the last month of the year, they scramble for expenses and receipts and for the tax time because everyone wants to get it done as early as possible in January and February. They realize it's going to take like a month or at least a couple of weeks to get everything in line and work on it. So they start freaking out right about this time every year, and I start getting a ton of emails and messages, which has started happening. So I wanted to get everyone a jump start on the expenses and receipts. So I'm going to use the whiteboard behind me and make a list, which you guys, when we're done, I'll just kind of pause the camera on it and you can screenshot it and then go back and use it later to make your own list and get together all of your receipts. Now, everyone's business is different. Definitely get a CPA. If you've never done this before, you don't have experience, get somebody to help you. Spend a couple $100s for your first year or your second year, but use this list as kind of a prep work, because the more time and more work that your CPA has to do, the more they're going to charge you typically. If you go in with all of these receipts and all these expenses kind of prepared and ready and clean and organized, then they can get through it faster and you won't have to spend quite as much money. Some of them have a flat fee no matter what it is, but you don't want to be, weeks going back and forth with the CPA and wasting their time and wasting your time. So hopefully this will help you get organized. I'm going to stop the camera, jump, zoom in on the whiteboard, and then we'll start again with me writing. You won't necessarily see me, but don't worry about me. Just worry about the list that's on the whiteboard. Okay, so I'm gonna start with just giving you guys a basic list of the expenses, and then I'll show you, most of you are using Excel sheets, so I'll show you how to, did I spell it wrong? Expenses, you get it, there you go. I'll show you how to set it up on your Excel sheet. So all of these have to be categorized, and these are the most popular for resellers. A lot of you, again, your business is different. You may have some of these, you may have all of them, or you may have none of them. It just depends on what you've spent money on. But number one, which is the biggest one, and this is the bad marker. Let's get the good marker that writes clear. Number one is COGS, which is cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold. So you want to deduct the price of the items that you bought as they sell. You can't deduct everything. So in other words, if you buy 10 items, right, and you pay $2 a piece for them, that's 20 bucks. And if you sell 5 of those items, if 5 sold and those were $2 each, so $10, you have $10 in cost of goods sold, and you have $10 in inventory remaining for the year. Okay, so that makes sense. Everyone understands that, right? So make sure you have your receipts from all of your Goodwills, thrift stores. If you went to yard sale, garage sale, estate sales, you need to get an invoice book and make up invoices. This is all covered in my accounting program. If you haven't got it, it's below. Number two is going to be mileage. Some people call this like travel, whatever. You need to keep track of every mile. Mile IQ is free. Make sure you get that. I'll write that on here, Mile IQ. I'll try to link as much of this as I can down below in case you don't have it or don't know what I'm talking about. Every mile that you ride to and from business. So if you ride from your house to Goodwill and back, that counts. Mile IQ will track that trip and they'll save your most recent ones and your favorites and your most used. If you're driving from your house to Goodwill to go thrifting, and then you go from Goodwill to get ice cream and then ice cream home, you would get rid of the mileage between the personal stuff, right? I know some people say, well, ice cream was a good business inspiration for me. That's between you and your CPA, but you get the point, only the business part of the trip, right? So number two is the mileage receipts. You're gonna keep that inside of the Mile IQ app or something similar. There's other ones, I'm sure, but that's the one that we use. And then number three, probably the next most popular one that everyone does, this is shipping. So obviously when you buy your shipping labels, typically most of us off of PayPal. If you're selling on Amazon or Posh isn't gonna matter because they handle all that. Amazon, the label costs come right out of your Amazon balance. So you can print those reports either via PayPal by searching for USPS, or Amazon has an actual section for just the label cost. So those are fully deductible. When you file your taxes on the 1099s, it's going to ask you if you had any shipping costs. It's also going to ask you as a subsection if you had shipping materials. That's materials across the board, which is things that are used up. So we'll actually put that as number 4. Materials here. Okay, so for materials, that's anything that's used up. There's 2 sections. It's equipment and materials. Materials is tape, bubble wrap, boxes, envelopes, toner, ink, things that you actually use up and you have to replace. So this is used. If it's equipment, it's things that you keep. It's a camera, it's a computer, it's a furniture, a chair. So those are 2 separate ones. So number 5 would be the equipment. And so those are things that you keep, right? That you would use. Now you may sell them and upgrade at a later point, but for the most part, you keep those and they're always there. Light kits, the camera I'm using to record this on. This whiteboard is deductible because I use it for my business for writing stuff down, to-do list. I use it to make videos, so this would be deductible as well. I bought this year. So that's equipment. Number 5, receipts. Again, you can pull them from your debit card statements. Those are usable as proof to the IRS in the event that you got audited. They want to know what you paid for the whiteboard or for the light kit. You can pull your debit card account and show it. Just make sure that it matches either the store that you bought it from or the receipt or something along those lines. So number 4, materials, stuff that you use up. Number 5, equipment, stuff that you keep. Number 6 is going to be, now on the IRS, they call this like dues and subscriptions. We know it as fees, but this is any website. This is all one category. eBay, PayPal, Posh, Etsy, whatever the website is that you use is dues and subscriptions. So if you paid $2,000 on eBay and you paid $1,000 in PayPal fees and $500 in Posh, your total in that category is actually going to be $3,500. They don't separate it. They don't care how many platforms you use. They just want the total of all of them for dues and subscriptions. Also included in that would be if you pay for your own website, like your own hosting, or if you pay for your own email list or like Shopify, those would all be covered under fee. So you need those receipts from most of us probably out of your debit card, or you pay for it out of your PayPal account. Those are called, I think it's called dues and subscription. I have to look. But this is why you use QuickBooks, because it categorizes all this stuff automatically for you. You just select the category, and then every time you insert a PayPal fee, it drops it automatically right into that dues and subscription. So that is the other fee. So number 7, probably least popular, or the least on the list, it's bank fees. And I know my handwriting sucks, I'm sorry. Bank fees. If you pay a monthly service for your business account, like a fee, if you paid any kind of interest, if you used, also included in this is credit card percentages. So if you paid any kind of like, you use your credit card to buy inventory and then you pay interest on the credit card, interest is actually deductible. You can look into that. It's very small, but it is something that you can deduct. So that's number 7. That's bank fees, credit card percentages, interest. Those of you that own a house know that you can claim the homeowner's interest, the interest you pay on your homeowner's mortgage loan. So similar to that with the bank and credit card, that's just the business side of things. Your home is on your personal income tax, but for business owners, we get to input our mortgage interest on ours as well. So that would be one as well. If you own a home, you can do mortgage. Okay, and then the last one, and this is one where you won't have too many receipts, but you can prove it through your bills being paid. It's your cell phone and your internet. Okay, internet. And so I claim 50%. A lot of people ask this. Obviously, I use it for personal and business, but really there's no way to know, did I use it exactly half the time for personal or half the time for business? I promise you I use it 90% business, 90% internet and everything here in the house, but I'm not gonna argue with the IRS. I'm just gonna put it down as 50-50, and I've never had an issue. I've contacted a CPA, contacted everyone, and that's perfectly okay. In fact, that's what some IRS agents have recommended to CPAs that take their little class for auditing, is if you running a business with a cell phone and internet, remember things changed. People used to have like a dedicated phone line for their business and then a cell phone. Things don't work that way anymore. Everyone just has a cell phone, so they're just okay with 50% and 50%. So if your cell phone bill is $100 a month, $1,200 for the year, you would claim $600 as the amount, and you would take the bill that you pay every month, and that's how you prove how much you spent on your cell phone and again on your internet. If you have separate phones, then great, you can claim the whole thing on the separate line. If you have a separate internet or separate hotspot, again, you could claim that entire bill. But mine, it's just all in one, so I do 50 and 50. And then while we're on that topic, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, I'll write it up here. Number 10 is your home office. If you have, now there's rules for this, and you can Google this on the IRS's website. The home office has to be dedicated. You can't use it for anything else. So if you sit in your living room and watch TV, you can't claim the square footage of your living room. It's just not gonna happen. You have to have a dedicated room that's for business only, and then you claim that square footage there. And I don't know what the amount is, but it's actually a really good amount. Every time I put in our square footage, we get a big discount on the taxes. So we have a dedicated room, and that's what we claim. And that's pretty much the 10 most popular common ones that all of us should have. There are more, of course. There's hundreds and hundreds of deductions. Those of you that have other things like kids or other, personal things, if you're self-employed, that you can put on your taxes, great. Otherwise, these are the ones you need to get receipts for. Start collecting them, start putting the amounts. If you're doing an Excel spreadsheet, then you're gonna have to create a column for each one of these, like dues, subscriptions, shipping, and then you're gonna have to input all of the entries for each one that you've paid all the way down. You'll do like rows, like row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6. You'll put, dues and subscription number 1, you'll put a date, the amount, and what it was. And then you'll do that all the way across. If you have QuickBooks, that's why I love QuickBooks, that's why I recommend it. They have categories. You just input the PayPal fee, select as a due and subscription, then every time you put one in, it'll automatically go to that category. And then the reason that it's better is at the end of the year, you can select this category and hit total, and it'll give you the total amount. Because when you fill out your taxes, if you've never done it, it doesn't ask you to input every single transaction. That's just for you. It only wants to know the total. And then if you were to get audited, then they might ask you to give them a detailed breakdown. So you're just gonna put this 3,500 and then wait for them to do the rest. It'll give you the total and you're all set. So there you go. Nobody can scramble for the last month of the year. Everyone wants to get it ready before January. So that's what you will need. I go over more in depth how to do these on Excel and QuickBooks in the accounting program. And I go into, I think, a total of 16 deductions that we have, because we have some other more obscure ones that I didn't cover here, but we cover it in the accounting program. If you don't have it, it's down below. It's on sale for Black Friday for the entire week, actually. And it's also included in the whole reseller training program if you didn't get that. But there it is. Make sure you take a screenshot of this. Go back and make sure you have every receipt. You shouldn't need them. Most of us don't get audited, but the event that you do get audited, they may ask you to prove your equipment, they may ask you to prove your fees, or they may ask you to prove everything. So you don't want to put anything on this list that you don't have a receipt for, because if you get audited and you can't prove it, they will make you pay for it. And it does include late fees and fines. So there you go, guys. That is kind of accounting, taxes, and deductions 101. All right, so it's me back with you, and that board, again, screenshot it. It was zoomed up before, of course, and if you have any more questions, put them in the comment section below. If you have recommendations for expenses that other people can look for, comment them below. Again, I didn't cover all of them. I do cover a bunch more, actually significantly more, 6, 7, 8 more in the accounting program. So thanks, guys, as always, for watching. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Don't freak out. Taxes aren't that crazy. They do require a little bit of work, but you have time if you get started now to get all of your receipts and numbers in order, and I'll help you out the best that I can. My email is always down there 24 hours a day. I answer them every day. And until next time, thanks so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, almost 200,000, and I'll be doing a giveaway for everyone who is on the subscriber list. You have to be subscribed in order to be entered. Have a wonderful night, guys, and I'll see you next time.